Yeah, I'm obviously unbelievably pleased. I would say at least 10 times this year we had a 15-point lead and lost. And to take a 15-point lead to 25, which we talked about at halftime, and to do it shows the maturity, the focus of this group. Going from kids that have never played Division I basketball to a team that can take a lead in a do-or-go-home game and expand it, and we played really good. Our defense in the first half was as good as you can play it. Absolutely as good as you can play it. We knew them as they knew us. We knew what they can do and what they can't do, and we made them play to what they can't do. Now, second half it got away from us a little bit, but then we made that run offensively where we were Superman for about 8 minutes on offense. Rashad was great. Kangu made 3 or 4 of the best reads he's made since he's been here, and then X just dominated in there, as he can. X can do that. The reason X can do it, besides being such a good player, is when other guys are playing well, they can't double him. And early in the game, they put a man and a half on him, and Oladapo went crazy and took advantage of it, and then they had to guard Dan, and then he can go. And so it couldn't have played out any better for us. I'm really, really pleased with the victory.
Any other questions? X, did that three-point shot get you going? You had a couple of close looks that wouldn't drop for you, and you hit the three.
Yeah, I would say so. Seeing the ball go in the rim is always a good sign. So I do believe that did get me going.
We said that on the bench. Smitty said to me when it went in, he goes, "Get him the ball next possession."
This is likely your last home game here as a member of this team. How are you feeling?
I'm glad, we have that streak for the guys going into next year. That's what I've always wanted to accomplish, just have a streak going, finish out every home game, win it out, and we did that. Now it's time to win. Now it's time to take care of business. Now it's time to get to the NCAA tournament. And those guys will have that to look forward to next year. And, and I thank them, for playing as good as they did to get us those victories. Those victories meant a lot to us. That really propelled us going into this tournament. And I couldn't be more happy for it.
Coach, you've won 6 of the last 7 games. What's been the difference? Is it just growing, maturing?
Well, we hit rock bottom at the IUPUI game here. And, it was a place we've never been before. I can't even, in our entry years into Division I, we won the league championship our first year in Division I. We had a couple bad years, but never rock bottom like we were. And X and Brad just did an unbelievable job of leadership. We didn't. I think I said this to you yesterday. When you go into the locker room 10 times after losing on a last-second shot, it's hard. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the NBA, the G League, a Power 5, or Oakland. And to pull yourself up time and time again and to believe in what we do, to believe in each other, to not point fingers. And that's what these guys did, and that was led by Brad and X's leadership. And the Detroit game was the season-changing game, not only because it was Detroit, but because it was coming after the lowest low we've had maybe ever here. And we went in there and played great. We lost to Northern Kentucky on another we had a shot to win the game, and we didn't even get a shot off, down 1 with 10 seconds to go. We played Wright State, the champion, tied with 4 minutes to go. And then we came home and started the winning streak. And we had a one bad again we're 6 out of 7 or whatever, 6 out of 7. And that loss was a 1-possession game. So we've overcome the crap that kills teams. And you don't do that if you don't have great kids. You know what I mean? If you don't have great kids with all the things that have gone against us, you can only get punched in the gut so many times. But they believed, they've stuck with the coaches, and we got rewarded tonight. but we've got 3 more. And we got to get on a plane, and we got to go to Green Bay and play, I think, the hottest team in the league. You think we're hot? I think Green Bay is the hottest team in the league. And we just played an epic game with them a week and a half ago that we won in double overtime. And the game at their place, we lost one of those one-possession games. So we're going to strap it on and go play.
You knew Brad wasn't going to play. Did you kind of take it upon yourself to be that threat in the post?
No, not really. I kept the same mentality that I had the whole season. Me and Brad played together for 5 years. He said, "X, just go out there and be yourself." You know what I'm saying? As soon as you start, as soon as you start thinking, putting too much pressure on yourself, that's when stuff can go wrong. And Brad knew that if I just went out there, I played and I followed the game plan, and I got everybody else involved, and I still was the leader, then we were going to be all right. And Brad didn't put that pressure on me, and I didn't put that pressure on myself. I said, you know what? I know how much this game means to him. I know how much this game means to camp. I know how much this game means to the Grizz gang, the fans, everybody that's watching on TV, my mom at home. I know how much it means. So I just said, I'm going to just go out here and I'm going to just play the game like how I've been playing, and whatever happens, happens. And we went out, we executed, and we got the win.
What about that student section at the Grizz game? They were shoulder to shoulder.
The Grizz gang is the best student section in the Horizon League. And those guys, now we did have free tacos, so I don't know if that had some influence, but Grizz gang,
That might have got a few of the fringe Grizz gang, but that base Grizz gang, they would have been there no matter what.
The part-time Grizz gang, but they're still the Grizz gang. We had a lot of Oakland students show up, and it's just a good sight to see them cheering for us. And I mean, when I'm 50 years old, I'll talk about the Grizz gang, seriously. And it's just a good moment to see them winning all our home games, our last, 4 home games, whatever. Just winning those out, I'll never forget that. I mean, that's a good moment.
Did you have the team touch the magic eye? Did you touch that?
What'd you think?
You did.
Okay.
So it's going to Green Bay?
Oh, it's making that trip. It's making that
Going to
trip.
Green Bay.
That's day one. He got that. That's the first time. The first time we brought it up, he had that. And we still have it with us. Shows our journey, shows everything that we went through, and we're rocking with it.
Any other questions for Coach or Xavier?
Will Brad be available Thursday?
Depends on how good our trainer is. Put a lot of pressure on him. Brad had this happen, and it took 2 weeks earlier in the year. His lower back, he's 7 foot, those things happen, and I feel responsible because we played this little game at the end of practice that I shouldn't have played. And when practice was over, we had enough, and they all wanted to play it, and I did it, and I shouldn't have done it because he got hurt in that game, and I just feel terrible that I did that. And I'm hoping that it calms down and that, we can get 10 to 15 minutes out of him. Babatunde gave us some really good minutes tonight. Some really good minutes. And, I kept saying all year, I got to play him, and I'd get him a few minutes here and there, and I'm glad I did because, he was ready to go. And he came. He didn't even dress Saturday because he was on an IV this morning because he's sick. Pittman's sick. Trey's sick, and they all played. And I told them, don't hug anybody but me, because if I get sick, we'll be okay. But if anybody else gets sick, we're in trouble. So they weren't hugging anybody. But I thought Babatunde played really well.
Man, he had 9 rebounds, man. Dude's a monster. He's the Iceman for a reason. It's hard to score over somebody that's 6'10", 270 pounds. And he's an enforcer. And he's really coming along, and he's really helping us out, and I'm proud of him.
That's the most he's ever played in the game, 15 minutes. It's the most minutes in his life. All right. Thank you.